Okay, we are back with Abdel Salem. You are a current member of the board of USA Fencing, right?
Yes,
And you are also running to again be elected to the board for this next season, I believe. This morning, USA Fencing released the list of candidates for 3 positions. There are 11 people running for the board. And that's great. I love to see that there's so much interest in having input in what's going on in USA Fencing, especially with all of the growth and results and change that has come about in the last year, both in staff turnover and policies and things like that. So could you explain to me a little bit more? I've been involved in fencing for a long time, and I still don't know exactly what goes on, not only during a board meeting, but who's even involved on the board, right? I would like representation as a fencer, and that's what I believe you are, and the position you hold is for. So could you explain to me during a board meeting, what happens? How do our concerns get addressed? Who talks? Who does things?
well, uh, well, the board is like the board, 12 person
Okay.
on the board. There is a board and there is also staff.
Okay.
The board make the policies and the rules, and the governing side, should be the board. And the staff is applying and make the operational everything, the how everything run, and this is the staff. And the best way to do it is to work together so we can serve the member. The board consists of 12 person, 5 at large. This election will have 3 person will be on the board for next year. There is also 3 independent member, which they from outside the fencing. They come.
So the independent members have nothing to do with the sport of fencing, really. They're just on the board as a voice that is unbiased.
Neutral, so they
Okay.
to just to go with what makes sense and be sure that there is neutrality, like there is like fairness, and for the athlete representatives.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's 12.
So we have the 12 members of the board, and you mentioned that they make the policy decisions that guide USA Fencing. What kind of policies are you talking about? We have lots of kinds, right? We've got, fence safe related policies. We've got policies of how to run the tournaments and how those, need to be structured to qualify for various kinds of events, national and international. What are we talking about here?
We're talking actually about all the stuff that's affect the fencing.
Okay.
For example, I just put motion for forming a group of people from the coaches. We found that there is no any representation as a committee for coaches. So we need a voice for the coaches to tell us what they think, what the feedback. Also, they help the board with their expertise in the coaches issue.
I like that a lot. That's a fantastic idea. So thank you for doing that.
Well, you're very welcome. I hope it will work out. And the committee also, bunch of people that they very experienced in this, these issues like coaches, veteran, youth. So we need to listen to them, and we get their feedback, their recommendation, disagreement, and we can discuss this with the board and make the final decision.
So the board does take input from committees that it might compose right, to give a voice to, you know, groups of people that care that the policy will impact. So we have the coaches group. What other kinds of committees has the board formed, or do you think they might intend to form to get some more feedback? Because I know there's been a lot of changes in direction lately, and there's a lot of concerns that it's the board's job to address.
We have a lot of committees. We have budget committees. We have editing committee. We have youth committee. We have referee commission. So we try to cover all this stuff. And I would like the member to be a little bit knowledgeable, because this is your right and this is your organization, and we need to take care of our organization. And I think I did this. I did that for 20 years. I was like completely off the knowledge and the politics. So, but I think people need to know what kind, how everybody work. Like the board member supposed to serve the board member, yes, support to serve the membership and take care of the organization. The staff need to operate everything correctly. The committee need to meet and have recommendation and demand stuff from the board, and the board have to discuss this one and do what's good for the organization. If we do that, I think that would be a lot better. And we need the member to be a little bit knowledgeable, so we can be scared from them. Because if they don't follow, I think we feel like we're free to do whatever we want, which is not good.
So making the members' feedback, pleasure or displeasure, heard is important. I didn't even know that there were committees that could give feedback to the board until about 2 years ago. And that took a long time. I was a member of USA Fencing for quite a while before that happened. So I'm really pleased with the increase in communication from the board and national office about those opportunities. I think that's really valuable.
And there is a lot of people, they don't know, they have issues, but they don't know where to go. So we need to lead them to the process and take care of any issues. If we take care of the issues before it's getting bigger, I think we will be a lot better. There is a lot of work. It's not like, it's a lot of work, but we need to be, I want the membership to be aware that their voice is very, very important. And their feedback is very important. Their recommendation is very important. And they own the organization.
This is something that you expressed to me privately, but is this your position as you are running for the board? You would like the membership to have a clearer voice and input in what's going on?
Yes, yes. And we have to listen to this clearly and work on their concern and do what is the best for this fencing organization, because we love fencing. We gain a lot from fencing. Without fencing, I don't know what my career will be. So we owe this organization to do it correctly.
You and I wouldn't even be having this conversation if we didn't love fencing, right? So I'm very glad that we covered that. I think last thing before we close for today, the board and operations, right? So the people that run the national tournaments and events, those are two completely different groups of people. They're part of USA Fencing, and of course it's one organization, but the board makes policy and takes membership feedback, and operations do the day-to-day planning and execution of tournaments. I think that's something that a lot of people misunderstand and miss. It's not super clearly presented, but
I will tell you, like you want an example of the competition. The tournament, we have competition. So first, when we have a regional competition, the board say, okay, we will like to have regional competition. How we will have regional competition? That's the operational, our staff.
I see.
And also, like for example, the Y12 and Y10. We make a decision. What are we gonna do with this? What event, stuff like that, and then the operational act on that.
That makes a lot more sense. And that's our timer. So thank you again for talking with me today about those. And I'm sure I'll be back with more questions in the future. I always do.
Please, ma'am, anytime. My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.